Hi guys, I'm sorry for the ones that have been missing me. I've had a couple of nice messages saying you've gone really quiet. Is everything okay? Everything is okay, but I've got a cold. And actually I'm studying really hard for 3 different courses all at the same time. And I'm writing a cannabis book and getting ready for Christmas. And the kids are on holiday too, so it's all good. And now I've got a cold to cap it all. Or if I'm completely honest, I've got a cold and a hangover all at once. Last night I went to watch an ABBA tribute band, completely dosed up on essential oils and paracetamol, and had half a lager and lime. And this morning I don't feel very well at all. This is completely self-induced. So anyway, what I thought I'd do is bravely come on camera looking not great, but still, and just show you. Everybody says, well, what do you do when you got a cold? Well, here's what I do when I got a cold. So the first thing to show you is Monarda tea. Those of you who read my books will know that I am a complete Monarda aholic. If there's not such a word, it should be in the dictionary. Monarda aholic. So Monarda tea, all it is I put a big scoopful, sort of very big teaspoon of honey in the bottom of the teapot, and I have dropped 5 drops of Monarda oil onto the honey, and then poured hot water over it, and it tastes like heaven. I'm not kidding you. It's the most beautiful tasting thing. I love Monarda, and it's all soothing here, and you can feel it starting to unlock behind the ears and the top of the head. And so this is a good start. It's like being in a spa. It's a good start to get the sinuses started to unlock. So there's my Monarda tea. I'm just going to pause the video for a second while I climb over the bed, put this down out of the way, and then I will get my big bowl of water for the infusion for my poor old head. 1 second. I'm back with the biggest bowl you've ever seen. So use the biggest bowl you've ever seen because I don't want to scald my face. So there's not actually that much water in the bottom. I don't know if you'll be able to see. Only a small amount. It was boiling. It's not boiling any longer. So I've also got a bath sheet, nice big towel, so that I can make a really big tent around me and just give myself plenty of room to make a tent of oils rather than just flushing at my skin. I want to be able to breathe it for quite a long time in a relaxed fashion, so that it can get into my lungs, into my sinuses, into my brain, because my poor old brain thinks I'm not very happy today. So yeah, we want to uplift that as well. So the first oil that's going to go in is Monarda, Monarda fistulosa. If you have never heard of it, you are missing out. I don't know why this isn't one of the most popular oils in the world. Get the book, it's on Amazon. It's just beautiful. It's so good for your lungs. I have very poorly lungs, as you know, so colds frighten me, so we have to get rid of them quite quickly. So that's my first one. So there was 3 drops of Monarda, maybe 4. I think it was 3. See how careful I am. So the next one I want is Niuli. So I have cleaned out my box today, so I should be able to find things quite quickly. Niuli, it's in the right place. Niuli. Niuli, again, another oil that's not used as often as I think it should be. So it's a member of the tea tree family. It's a paper bark, very antibacterial, antiviral, yeah, I love it. It's incredibly gentle. Now normally I would put Ravensara in, but in my audit of my box I realised today we have to order some Ravensara, which is really great to find on the day when you feel really poorly, isn't it? Now, bit of an experiment, because I've never used it before. Fregonia. Everyone's telling me I should be using Fregonia, so I'm going to put that in, which is in the box over this side somewhere. Fregonia. an OCD one. Very pretty bottles, don't you think? So that's going in. If I can get the top off. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my tent, and I'm going to steam my head for about 5 minutes if I can stand it, although I am feeling quite yeah, I don't think I'll manage it. And I'll put you on pause, and then what we'll do is we'll go on to the facial massage, where I'll do all the acupressure points for the sinuses on the top of the head, back of the neck. Probably haven't got the best dress on for this because perhaps need to get to the back of the neck and the neck as well. So I'm going to pause it. I'm actually going to do it by 5 minutes because it's medicine, and come back to me in a bit. Just sit there and feel sorry for me for a moment. Right, I'm back from in my tent, and I've gained a Christmas helper. It's joyous, isn't it? So he wants to help me show you everything. So I apologise in advance if that gets stressful. So, right, this is Dexter, and he's going to show you how to make an inhaler for my cold. So, he's going to use some oils into the measuring jug. Show them the measuring jug first. Okay. So what oil are you putting in first, Dex?
Tea tree.
Okay, and how many drops of tea tree are you going to put in?
4.
4 drops. Very good. So tea tree is antibacterial, antiviral. Obviously, that's enough. Very good, very good. Lovely.
And be careful, it's very fast coming out.
Yes, so that means it's a top note. Comes out nice and fast. What are you going to put in next?
Franconia.
Fragonia, right? You don't think you'll be able to get that top off. It's childproof, so just a sec. Another Australian oil. There you go.
So
how many drops?
4 drops.
Ooh, that was more than 4. Never mind. Good, good, good. What do we know? If it's runny, it's a top note.
Top note.
Top note. Right. What's this one?
Frankincense.
And which one's your favourite one?
Frankincense.
And what do we have at Christmas?
Frankincense.
Okay. How many drops?
4.
4. Oh, it's beating, yeah. It's coming, that's more than 4. Very good, very good.
So the last one's going to be myrrh.
Right. And why do you think we're using myrrh? What could I use?
Because it's December.
And it's
Christmas soon.
And it's Christmas. Very good.
But it's not Christmas yet. It's going to be soon.
Okay.
It's coming.
Myrrh is very decongestant. Now this one will come out very slowly, so you'll have to take your time. Okay. Soon.
Need 4 drops.
I think
of all of them.
You might get sick of waiting for 4 drops of this one. It's a base note. It'll take its time. Rather than shaking it, put your hand round it like that, and it will warm it. Okay. Like that. That's it. We might have to get bored before 4, mightn't we? Is it coming? You have to wait. You have to wait.
You have to wait for it because it's very slow.
And that's why it's calming.
Well, this one, they might not. All of them might not.
Might not what?
Be slow, but this one is.
It's very slow. Should I take the top off? Is it coming out at all? Have you got any drops?
No.
No.
Got
okay.
0.
Right. I didn't do this because this is a cheap bag's way. Okay. Ready? Is it in the camera? Can you see?
No. Yes.
Right. Take your feet off. Count.
1.
That's all. That's plenty. Loads and loads and loads there. See
So
how thick it is?
If you can see, it's turned green.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's your jumper, Bubba.
No, it's not. Look.
Mixed together.
Yeah, look. It's not on my jumper and it looks green.
Look at that. I wouldn't have thought that. You're quite right, you know.
So it turned green, when you put them in, so you'll be quite surprised.
Yeah. And what else can you say about the oil? What can you notice about it? What's stuck to the bottom? Which one do you think that is? Yeah.
Myrrh stuck to the bottom of it.
Because it's really thick, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you remember why myrrh's thick? How did they get out the tree?
The crying.
Right, yes, because it
It's
cries.
tree cry.
It's tree tears, isn't it?
Yeah, and so is frankincense.
Very good. So now we need one of those wiki things, please.
We haven't put this one.
Oh yes, you're quite right. Hold that.
So,
what is this? Can you remember? Dex isn't allowed to put this in, but this is my
cannabis.
cannabis oil.
I'm not allowed to put it in because it goes really fast because it's got no stopper.
Obviously, that's not the only reason. Okay. I'm going to put quite a lot in there. That was aiming for 3.
No, that was actually 3.
Oh, it was 3. Okay.
Actually,
so this.
4.
Okay, just be quiet for a minute then. So the cannabis oil is extremely good for boosting the immune system. So that's what I need right now. It's quite a nice smell, actually. Not at all what I expected it to smell like. What's your thoughts?
Nice.
It is nice, isn't it? Okay, so wiki thing.
All of them smell very nice. Got a wiki thing.
Oh, right, okay. So actually there's a wiki thing in here, isn't there? So do you want to show them how this works?
Okay. So you
hold it up so they can see all the bits.
So you have this holder. So when you pull the top off, you can see a little gold bit there's lots of different kinds.
That's right. So we've got yes.
And then it turns into like a test tube.
Yes, that's right. So I'm going to pour. Is that in the camera? Yeah. So pour into the camera.
So here's a little wiki thing.
Boy, don't knock me. Watch this stain the bedclothes. Yeah. Okay, so because it's in there, we don't need to have
a wiki thing.
We do need a wiki thing. We don't need to have a carrier oil.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I do. Okay, so the wiki thing's going in. Okay. Look at that. Can you see crunch?
It looks like a scroll inside of a bottle.
And what's happening to the oil?
It's going up the wiki thing.
It is, isn't it? It's creeping right up.
It's turning orange. Then you put it back in here.
So assemble it. That's it.
And it's back together.
That's right.
And it's got like a little logo on the front.
Okay, do you want to advertise the company for me? What are they called?
Aromatherapist International.
Aromatics International.
Aromatics International.
This is my freebie. It's very nice, isn't it?
Yeah, you can get different kinds. You can get all of these ones.
Very good. Okay, so do you want to sniff of my inhaler?
Smells nice.
It does, it does. Okay. Right, so you're going to let me do the rest of the video now. What's that then? Oui et sons. And that's the minute.
Sons and scents.
Yeah, sons. Right, so going out the way now, so we're at the video.
Bye.
Say subscribe.
Subscribe.
I'm back. Right, I'm going to pause this and then do a proper video myself. Right, facial massage. Now I did have a master plan. My master plan was to use the remaining oils that were in the bottom of here, but Dex's only been left about a minute and a half and they are all in the wiki thing. So that's quite extraordinary, isn't it? And I have to say, I do really like this. This is a good blend. I do have some remnants in the tub, so we're going to use that. But we obviously need some carrier oil. So I'm quite interested in carrier oils. I don't really talk about them very much, but they have a lot of properties of their own right. And actually, I've enlisted my daughter on a bit of a family project to do a lot of research on carrier oils. Oh, my carrier oils are in here. So I've used a little bit of Tamanu, and this is pumpkin. And do you cook with pumpkin? I really love pumpkin. It turns everything green. And I tell you what I particularly like to do with it. is I like, when I've made a quiche, to put herbs in it and brush it over the top of the quiche when it's hot. And it gives it this beautiful, rich, nutty glaze. There we go. Bit of pumpkin. So I actually think there's probably enough oil in there from earlier as it was anyway to do the job. So, oh my gosh, it's really thick. Probably need something to thin it down, but all the oils I've got in there are thick, so never mind. Oh my god, it feels like heaven. Right, so we'll start just on the face. You probably have a lot of moaning and groaning now because it really is hurting on my face. So the areas to concentrate on are in the forehead and on the front of the face to begin with. So if you've never done any massage, we're going to do a bit of effleurage. Effleurage are long sweeping motions, smooth sweeping motions, and their job basically is to relax the muscle and to get the oil in, nothing more. So what we're going to do is work right across the top of the forehead, and if you've got a cold you'll be able to feel the bits where that hurts so crazy. So when we get to a crazy bit, we just leave the pressure on for a bit, because what we've got here is an energy blockage, and so by releasing the energy, by putting pressure on it and just releasing that blockage, not only does it move the snot and revolting things, but it's energy, and the energy will help the healing process, because we're moving the life force, the chi. It really hurts here, and these are real strong acupressure points for the sinuses. So we're kind of going up from the nose and just out over the brows, and they get very, very congested. So if you have got a cold and you're doing it, in fact probably my nose is going to start pouring in a minute because I can feel it just easing out. So what I'll do is I'll go quite quickly over this and then come back and do it properly. But here as well, we're just by the temples, so imagine your 4 fingers on the temples, and it's your next finger where that rests at the end of the brow line. You'll be able to feel the tension there. And then as we go underneath the eyebrows, ow, I'm not putting it on, I have to tell you, it really hurts. Underneath the eyebrows are your acupressure points, and this one here is, oh my goodness, it feels like a migraine. So we're going to gently move those, and we can just put fingertip pressure and leave it on, or we can just sort of do little circular motions. Either way, it's making me feel dizzy. And then we're going to work over right the way along there, and really when I come back to do it, I'll be doing this area for about 5 minutes, just this area, and then we've got acupressure points. I have got quite a strong cheekbone, so you should be able to see quite well. So that is my cheekbone there. So in the eye socket there, if you've got cheekbone acupressure points there, and that's what's giving me buggy eyes. That and half a lager and lime. But also, and these really hurt. We're going underneath the cheekbones, and it helps just to put your fingers flat, really. And we're just going to work along there, and that's how you release the sinuses out on the face. Now when you go to the doctors, you go and see an ear, nose and throat, don't you? And so you can really feel how they're connected. So we go down the jawbone here. That's so painful. We're just kind of just smoothing in the oils and just putting pressure on to release down here. Now, if somebody came to me with a sinus condition rather than a cold, there would be other areas that I would work. So certainly with sinus pain, and that will be a cold as well, up on the top of the head. So for fear of getting myself too revolting, I haven't got a huge amount of oil on my fingers, but I would have. and I will have after I've gone off canvas, but camera. But here, so straight up from the nose, straight up from the ears, and that is painful as hell. So we're massaging down here, and you know, the scalp, it's supposed to move. Remember that trick you used to do when you were at school, moving the scalp? Well, as you get older, you can't do that as much, and that's tension. So if you start to really loosen off the scalp and move it, that's extremely good for your blood supply, but also for your brain, and just to releases so much stress. And you hold a lot of stress in your hair, so we pull the stress down the hair shaft and shake it off. We don't want that. Get rid of it. And whether that is a placebo thing or whether it's true, and I have to say, I think it's very, very helpful thing to do. But even just the thing of thinking, right, I don't want that stress, get rid of it, it's really helpful. Then the back of the neck, and I'm going to have a bit more oil now. The back of the neck is such an important place in aromatherapy, because the oils go so quickly to the brain from here. It's got a really fast direct access. I've really got the wrong dress on for this, but still. So I can feel my spine, obviously, and then either side of the spine are the muscles going up, and they are absolutely rock solid. And so we want to release those, and that might be the cold, or it might be hours of dancing to ABBA last night. We suffer for our glories, don't we? So we're just releasing that, and then down the shoulders. If you look at a diagram of the muscles in the back and the shoulders, the one that comes down from the shoulders comes in that shape down the back, the trapezius, and that is absolutely full of acupressure points for the sinuses. So if somebody was suffering from sinus congestion, and I mean like you know, infected sinuses, sinusitis, then having a back massage might seem very strange, but it is the very best thing you can do, because you're releasing off all that tension and it just empties the sinuses. Very, very weird, but that is how it works. So I'm going to go back up. So we've worked across the head, we've worked under the eyebrows, and this here, whatever that was, I'm sure it's got a name. I'm sure Chinese medicine's giving it a name. And then underneath, in the eye sockets, underneath the cheekbones, the back of the neck, or actually down the jaw, around the neck. So muscles down the back of the spine. Acupressure points are just at the bottom. Ow! Acupressure points are just at the back of the bottom of the skull. So working across there. Oh, that really hurts. And so that is, where is that? Kind of in line with the shoulder mantle, just at the back of my skull. And then these long pulling effleurages to loosen off this muscle in the neck, in the shoulders, deep in the shoulder. Yeah, this is really, really horrible place for tension, isn't it? Really working the shoulder mantle, and as far down your back as you can get, to be honest. So yeah, I have to say I am feeling better. I mean, we're probably only it was about 15 minutes of video, isn't it? I've been messing around with Dex and the dog for several of them, but so yeah, we've done the steam. The steam helped a lot. What did we have in the steam? We had Monarda, Fragonia, and Nayuli. So we've got all the antibacterial properties. And I have to say, when I was in the tent, I was thinking about all the shamans and the Native American shamans that use the Monarda in the sweat lodges, and it did feel very homely and very comforting. And then we had Dexter's help with the inhaler. So we had frankincense, myrrh, cannabis, fragonia, and what was the other thing? Tea tree for the antibiotic. And then we've used those in the massage oil with just some carrier oil, and I feel better. I feel like I might be able to deal with Christmas holidays now. Anyway, I hope that you find that helpful. I think colds are very, very debilitating, and there's a huge amount of information about how to treat colds in books. And basically, as long as you're looking for antibacterial oils, and you're looking for decongestant oils, it's easy. You don't have to follow any rules at all. Okay, so hopefully tomorrow I will look better and I'll be able to do skin oils for you. See you on the other side.